Are you ready? Let's go. Well, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Awesome.
Yes, we've been, the three of us have been in here BSing for, well, Matt joined about 10 minutes ago. Rick and I have been at it for about half an hour and just telling all the lies we possibly could think of. How are you guys?
All lies.
I've been an hour. I've sanded 2 sets of tires.
At least you stay productive.
Since I've been on.
Well, yeah, I've got
sanded 2 sets of tires.
A cup of coffee down.
I just went and got a new one. That's what I was choking on.
Good for you. Hey, Mr. Chun, Melvin, Bart, even Bart, and Shane. Glad to see Shane Dangerfield's on. That was his build of the whiskey car. So in the flyer. So
nice, good job, kid.
Yeah, he did a nice job on it. We got. Hey, I'm gonna put out a plea to you guys in the club. You guys in the club, and any of you that are on here that aren't, if you're not in the club, email. I need some pictures of some of the builds of the Indy cars. I wanted to show an Indy car this morning, but I don't have any new ones. So if you guys have an Indy car that you want to show off, send me a couple pictures, post them in the club, or email jim@salvino.us. I want to be able to share some good IndyCar builds, because Rick says we have a lot of new guys in the club that are IndyCar builders. They love Formula One, so He told me to quit bagging on Formula One. So I'll stop bagging on Formula One because we've got so many guys that like the open wheel kits. Glad to have you here.
We have a good portion. Good portion.
Yeah.
We have a good portion of our club because of the Indy car.
I want to be able to show them off, guys. So I love showing off the builds.
It just shows you that Indy cars, an IndyCar guy likes NASCAR, and most likely vice versa. You know, a NASCAR guy is going to watch the Indy 500. You know,
that's true.
It might be your favorite, you know, but whatever. I don't know. I don't really like football, but let's say your I don't know who your team is, Matt. Cardinals, right, Matt? Your football, football, whatever your team is.
I don't do football, so they're not my team.
You're still going to watch the Super Bowl if it's but guys still watch the Super Bowl no matter what, you know. And the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500 are like that. Everybody watches. If you're a race fan, you're watching the Daytona 500, you're watching the Indy 500. You'll sit through the parade at Monaco.
Yep.
You know, if you get up early
not
enough.
anymore.
East Coasters don't have that problem out here.
You know what's tomorrow? It's the race out at Barber.
Well, they're doing it later, Matt. That's why.
And I hope they show. Show
today is the spring.
I hope they show some shots of the museum, guys. If you haven't been there, you got to go. It's just insane.
It's on the list for me.
Well, the great thing, Barber, last year was when the mannequin fell down on the track. Remember they ran it over and they thought it was a girl got run over?
That was hilarious.
They kept. I watched practice. I watched practice yesterday, and they kept replaying it because it was funny. And
yes.
But yeah, they had practice yesterday. I forgot who ended up quickest. You know how it really don't matter in practice. Then who got the pole in? They're having a sprint race in Miami for Formula One, and Piastri got the kid. You wouldn't even know he is, Jim. Antonio something or other, the guy that took Lewis Hamilton's seat at Mercedes. Is the youngest. Well, it's not technically a pole because it's a sprint race. They requalify again today. But
Antonelli.
He is the youngest.
Thank you, Sarah.
Antonelli. There you go. He's the youngest pole winner in Formula One. He beat Sebastian Vettel as the youngest ever. And that's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm going to watch it to see if our Italian boy can't win. I didn't even know who he was till about a year ago. I looked at him and I go, "There ain't no way this guy's going to be fast." He looked like Marco going into junior high. They're getting younger and younger. You know that?
Oh boy, yes.
These guys are getting younger and younger. And well, I mean, look at William. How old was William Byron, man, when he went into Hendrick? He was just a kid.
Yeah.
Richard wasn't even allowed to drive a car till he was 21 years old. Now, at 21, you got 5 years under your belt,
Or 10 sometimes.
I think what was he, 18 years old?
I have no idea.
You looked him up. I don't know. He's the youngest ever, though. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Then got qualifying, like you said, at Barberg. I do like Indy's qualifying format. The two groups, top six from each group have a shootout. They have the top six. Then they have a shootout for the pole, which is really fun, to watch. And NASCAR's qualifying is boring. They have never come up. They tried that. They just never have had great qualifying. It never has. They have great racing. They have the best racing.
Yeah.
They just don't have great qualifying. And you know what also I think, Matt? It doesn't matter where you start in a NASCAR race.
Not really.
Not really.
Starting on pole means almost nothing, whereas in a Formula One race, I think every race this year has been won by the pole setter. So in a NASCAR race, it's like, Kyle Larson's 10th. Who gives a crap? He'll
be up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Or whoever, Joey Logano,
Yeah.
They're saying that's a Red Bull. We're proud of that, Matt, to get that deal together. There's my favorite car. I hate to say it. That's my favorite, that Motorcraft 21, Jimmy Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy drives that, right? Why does it say Josh Berry on there?
Because Josh Berry drove it.
Yeah.
Should have said Jimmy Clark, right? What's funny was
on the other side,
he was Jimmy Clark to America, but he was Jim Clark to the rest of the world.
Oh, really?
I like that herd. That's one I am probably going to build. I said I was only going to do the Indy 500 winners, but I'm going to make the exception on that one, on the Colton Herta. I didn't build the Pato because I'm thinking he has a damn good shot of winning the 500 this year.
And by the way, we've got, 2 cases of Pato?
We opened up the second to last case of Pato, so we have under 24 pieces left to Pato. And, Dixon isn't far behind. I don't know. He might have 3 cases. But, the Indy cars have gone phenomenal. The Indy cars really saved this company through the through a repeat of the Great Recession that we had to go through here for the last 3 years since COVID. I don't know when COVID was, but COVID had a little pop because no one could leave their house, and then everybody was broke, and gasoline in California went to $7 a gallon.
Oh man!
So yeah, we're down to $4. I think I paid like $4.40.
Ouch!
Which you guys think that's high? That's low here. If you're paying $7.
Yeah, but I'm paying $2.39 here in Central Texas.
You guys can all stick it right. Yeah, we have low property taxes, so that's the one thing we can say.
That you do.
We have
but you've got Newsom.
No, he's gone. Nobody. He can't even sell podcasts.
No.
Oh, he can't, can he?
No, everybody in this state, and this state's pretty, I think everything's 50-50, you know what I mean, anymore. You know, this country, but this state was always, they always said it was a Democrat state. I wasn't really much of a voter, but it changed. This, the COVID thing, the fire thing, and what else? There's something. The water, whenever people found out, they've been making us save water here. I don't know, you guys all over the country. They've been making us save water here for 40 years. And then we come to find out they were blowing all the water. I guess we have the most water in the country, where it comes from Canada down through the whatever Sierras.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been blowing it into the millions of gallons of water into the ocean. Oh. And, well, we didn't know. I mean, who? I'll be honest with you. Who reads the paper? Who watches the news? You know, not many of us.
Really,
yeah. Well, you got to protect those delta smelt, but let's get off. Let's get away from the politics, because we got people on both sides of the line here, so we don't want to step on too many toes. We try to avoid it, but
I'm not on any side. You know what side I'm on? I'm on Salvino's JR model side.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're selfish whores.
Right. Yep. Well, no, we love racing. That's what it is.
That's it.
Whatever's better for racing. I think every state should fund a racetrack, just like they do in NFL stadium.
Yeah. No kidding.
At least one or two racetracks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Ooh.
What it would do for
I've seen pictures of over here, Matt, of they built a couple of buildings in turn 1 and 2 at Fontana.
I saw that.
Yeah. Still could, I don't think people realize that you could still put a quarter mile or a half mile in there, no problem.
Yeah. Are they still playing with that idea?
Yeah, because that straightaway would go through the garage area.
I saw a video a couple days ago about another private track going in up I think it's north of Dallas. We've got one coming in just south of me, probably 20 miles, that they're private tracks. It's kind of like what's that place out in Indio, the IndyCar track out there, where they're the developers.
We have one. SCCA built Buttonwillow. We got Buttonwillow. We got
these aren't like Buttonwillow. These are private tracks, and they're building the track houses and the special your own garage / condo, and they're building more of those around. That's kind of cool. I want to find out the one. It's in Gatesville, Texas. I want to find out about that one. See if it's going to be public coming and watching some of the races and stuff like that.
They've been working on one south of Phoenix in Casa Grande. I don't know if it's still happening, but I've been hearing rumbles about it. But they're doing something like that down there.
No, well, what happened to a lot of tracks is the population moved around them. Unlike an Indy that could overcome that. You know, like Riverside. Riverside was in the middle of nowhere, and now it's a city. So that's what happened to a lot of tracks. The land became so valuable that we lost some tracks, but they'll build new ones out in the boonies. All you have to do is fly over this country in a plane on a decent clear day, and you could see there's a lot of room to build racetracks. You know?
Oh yeah,
we don't have any shortage.
Hey, that's what Google Earth is for.
What happened is, the population kind of grew, moved out to a lot of these tracks, and the land just became so valuable that we lost a few. But there's some great ones, and this weekend's gonna be great. Where the Cup cars are in down you? They're by you, Jim. Where it's Texas World Speed or what do they call that one?
Yeah, they're up in Fort Worth today or this weekend. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's a Humpy Wheeler track. Yeah. I don't know.
I was thinking of going, but I want to watch the IndyCar race. So.
Yeah, I do like Barber. It's just I love the scenery of Barber with that green plush grass and the.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And guys drive off the track so much there. The Miami thing. I don't know if you guys watched it yesterday. It's I guess we watched Long Beach. With the walls. We got Chicago with the Cup cars, but it seems like Formula One has a bit too much of that cement, freeway cement barrier. I get tired of looking at that, don't you? I mean, one or two a year is cool, but every week where the guy has to be inch perfect, and there's no passing on those damn tracks, so. But I'm not a big fan of the concrete. I like the open road, the mid Ohio, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And this one I've never been. Jim went to this one, but I've never been because it wasn't built yet. But that looks beautiful. I love those open air road course. Even like that on TV. When you watch Monza with that, what's that turn? Is it Parabolica? The last turn, the big old sweeper, and the one where the air base is Silverstone. The British Grand Prix. Those are cool to watch. I mean, just the scenery in the background and I enjoy those. Yeah, the open aired. The other ones are almost like running in a basketball arena or something.
Yeah, very true.
Anyways, we got some great kits.
In the grass.
Right now, I think I'm getting started on my second Joseph car. I'm going to build that Travelers whiskey, man. You guys are killing that thing.
That is. I've been seeing a lot of posts.
And I'll give it to Chad. I don't know if I'd paint. I don't think I could find a paint as good as the damn color of the body.
Yeah.
You were saying MCW has a paint, but man, that body looks dead on.
I heard a couple people talking about that.
Oh, they were?
I saw a couple of posts about people saying, no, I think I'm just going to lay the decals down and clear over it.
Yeah, no, when she pulled it out of that trash can, when I went over there, Tina goes, "Did you see these?" And I they had already run them, and I thought, "Holy crap, man, them guys nailed that." It was because it's such a weird color,
It is.
And you're not going to get it off of Tamiya paint rack. I mean,
no.
The only thing I can think of is MCW or that Splash Paints, or I don't know all the guys' names.
The thing is, with MCW, Michael purposely had that color figured out and mixed, and it's labeled as that color. So
okay,
he's probably got.
I'm an exclusive MC. I've been an MCW guy since the old guy owned it. Probably I started MCW probably when he started pouring the paint. That was probably the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Somewhere in there.
That was the first company to actually introduce midnight. They were the first company to actually introduce the for airbrushing automotive paint in small amounts for airbrushing models. Which back then,
little ad.
Yeah,
a little ad because I was down there buying half pints.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was doing because it was hard to get small amounts of automotive paint back in the 90s.
Yeah, I was buying.
You can get it. It's just real easy to get on this website.
Yeah. Yep, Rick, Shane Dangerfield that did the build that's on the show flyer this week. Yeah. He said he just clear coated the body, and then did decals.
Yeah.
Look great.
That works.
I'd probably paint it for them. I'd try the MCW and see if it looks as good. I do love his paints. Mike is a great guy. I'm glad he took that over because I forgot the guy's name that owned it before. I mean, he went to. I'll tell you what, that guy that started the company, forget his name, but he only worked by fax machine, Matt, if you remember. And you have to fax your order. And he would answer the fax phone, though. If you called like 3 or 4 times, if he was there, he'd pick up the fax machine phone, right?
Oh, really?
So I did talk to him several times, yeah. And but he went out and got all the GMs, all the Fords paint codes, right? All the Chryslers. If you go on Mike's site,
it's all there.
Has all the old car paint codes, and he could do you a 1955 Chevy interior or whatever. I mean, I'll tell you, he did some, and then NASCAR was. He had told me the other guy, I forgot his name, but he had told me that NASCAR was providing paint codes to him early on. So that's why he had the Napa and all those paint codes. He was getting them from NASCAR.
Dave Dodge.
Because models.
Dave Dodge.
What?
Dave Dodge.
The old guy? Yeah, he's old.
Dave Dodge.
Here's the Dave Dodge. Because I'll tell you.
Thank you, Dave.
I got tired. Well, when you buy a half a pint of lacquer paint, it's actually a quart. It's 3 to 1. So you got to put three parts of lacquer thinner to the 1 part. So you got a pint, then you got 2 more, you got a quart, So you got a quart of paint to paint this little stock car. Yeah. I wouldn't bother mixing the whole thing. I didn't want to waste all the lacquer thinner and stuff. I just mix enough to paint. But it was rough going there at the beginning. But I had a cool guy.
You had Mike on the show a few years back, didn't you?
Yes, Mike's been on the show. Mike's been a good dude. Mike was he owned Will's Wings and Waves. He moved it to North Carolina now. It's a hobby shop. So Mike was already a customer of ours. And whenever I didn't even know that MCW was selling, Mike bought it. Then he bought the resin portion of MCW. We're going to have Mike come on and tell the story of the whole thing. He'd be a great guest.
Yeah, you
especially
should.
Now,
Yeah, I had him on.
I'm a lacquer painter. I probably die a lacquer painter, man.
There is your assignment for this week, Rick. You've got to get a hold of him and see if he'll do an interview.
I talked to him. You know what? I'm going to say it right here. I owe him money. He sent me. No, I do. he sent me like 4 or I don't know 12 bottles of paint, and he goes, the invoice will be inside the box. Well, I still have the box over there, and there's no invoice in it. So I ripped him off. So I need to call him and settle up with him. He didn't put an invoice in the box, but so there we go. That's a good deal. Yeah, Mike would gladly do it. He wants to promote his paint.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I appreciate that he makes paint for our cars. And there is another guy, Matt, and I forget, during the club meeting, somebody mentioned another company that makes, I think, more
finishing.
Is that who it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas one thing cool about MCW is they got enamel, they got lacquer, and then they also have the 2-part clear. So he's expanded the MCW line to kind of fit everybody, you know.
He also just cracked the code, which really wasn't hard to do, but the clear that's been, or not clear, the thinner reducer that's been really popular, that's been coming from Mr. Hobby, that Mr. Hobby leveler stuff. Well, he's now selling his version, which it's just a mild lacquer thinner with a retarder in it, so it helps stuff flow when you mix your paints with that. It helps the paint flow real well. Yeah, so he's now got that. So I know sometimes it's hard to get the Mr. Hobby leveler thinner. Now, the hobby shops get them and they run out, and then they got to wait a while for the next cargo ship to come across. He's now got it, and I'm actually want to get some of his and try it out, because he's been showing little demos on Facebook.
See, the one he uses for the lacquer, you can only buy it in 5-gallon drum things, you know. And I bought it because I ended up he's buying PPG paint, reducing it, you know. I think he said 2 to 1. I do 3 to 1, but he reduces it 2 to 1, and he puts it in those little 1-ounce jars. He doesn't do the 2-ounce like the old guy did.
Yeah,
the old guy used to do 3/4 ounce and 2-ounce, because that's the jars that were available. Mike found some 1-ounce jars.
Yeah.
And but he's a good dude, man. I don't think I painted a car since I painted a hotel car with some Tamiya paint in the, out back in the parking lot, of the hotel. But other than that, I've used MCW probably since the mid-90s.
Yep.
And I've always used competition.
Yes.
Actually, early 90s, I started PPG paint, and competition clear, PPG.
Yeah. I have been racking up. Anytime I want like actual real factory colors, I get them from MCW. I like the lacquers myself too, and I've got a whole, like, some of my favorite I have to always have on hand factory colors. Of course, Chrysler competition, or whatever they call it, corporation blue, whatever, the petty blue. I always have Ford poppy red, and there's a few metallic colors, GM metallic colors, this real populars, like the aquas and the blues that were popular in the 60s. And I get those. And what I like about his formulations is he uses a very, very fine metal flake. So his metal flake is to scale to, 25th, 24 scale model car. Looks a lot better than if you were to just use straight from, have it mixed at a paint store. And he's using all automotive, all automotive grade paints. So you can't lose. And it's already ready to rock. You can pretty much drop it into your airbrush.
What's that one? The new metal, bare metal. I don't know what he calls it. Some metal. He sent me a bottle to try out. Right. I used it on the Joseph car, on all that metal stuff. I used it, and then I put a wash on it. The great thing, it hardens. You know, unlike a lot of the metallizing stuff we have.
Oh yeah,
it never hardens. It's all, you know, it's pretty soft paint, right? Where his hardens like a regular lacquer. So I've been using that like on my Indy car and stuff, you know, as far as for the block and the transmission and the, you know, things. Yeah, it's great. I don't know what he calls it. I have it sitting right over there, but I'm not going to walk over and get it.
I'm going to have to
be
get
another video. So let's go over the cars we have one more time, Jim, before we go to
hang on a second.
Rick commercial break here.
Let me finish something.
Quit texting people. Come on.
I'm not. I'm just answering questions.
Texting. You don't need to answer questions.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So anyway, I'll go back to showing stuff. Happy now? Are you happy?
Yeah. That's my favorite car he started with.
I love that.
That's dark British racing green. Get the dark. Then that Red Bull is going to be awesome.
That Red Bull
and Camaro
looks really good.
And we still have we still have those guys. So
and we have Kyle. And we got Kyle.
I don't have Kyle loaded, but we've got
of course we did. That's the brand new Ford.
You guys have been wanting the new Fords. Go buy the Logano. You guys have been after us to do the new Fords.
Hey,
go buy extras. And that way you can paint them and turn them into other stuff.
Hey, go buy them. Otherwise, Marco's not going to buy any more Ford molds, okay?
Yep.
You think I'm kidding? Now that everybody loves, because that got a whole new crowd in. That IndyCar mold has been God's grace to this company. We've done phenomenal with the IndyCar, and I think the NHRA car is going to do the same.
I
think a whole new group of people.
That's going to be a good one for us. Yeah.
It gets a whole new group of people, you know. So it's you know, the IndyCar. We still have a few of the Patos, 21 or 2 left, and probably 36 or less of Dixon. Got a few still Herta's, got a decent amount. I don't know how many. And still a decent amount of the Joseph 2024 winner. All the rest completely sold out. I don't think people realize how valuable these Indy cars are going to be. They don't realize we only sold them. So the only ones that were sold through us or the Speedway, and the Speedway's been closed.
Yeah.
So all the first 4 cars, good luck finding one.
Yep.
You know, you might be able to remember they just came out.
Let's go into the technical section of this here catastrophe. And
put on your brains.
Yep. Time for a pee break
Rick
for some of us.
From 2 feet away.
Yep.
Guys, this is Rick back with you. We worked on this before. I kind of mocked up this side here. That was a pre-painted one I had.
Hold on just a moment. I gotta hide these other things. I don't know why it does this. So give me a second, guys. I need to remove all the other stuff. Yeah, I know. I'll get this dumb thing figured out eventually.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. It's hard to take the baby steps when somebody's throwing. There we go. All right, let me bring this back to the beginning. And here we go.
Guys. This is Rick back with you. We worked on this before. I kind of mocked up this side here. That was a pre-painted one I had. And this one here is missing a peg on the thing. But the idea was I wanted to show you how to get the deflector on, why you have to wait till you have the car totally mocked up before you put it on. Otherwise, you're going to get your deflector up in the air off of the and it's in the new instructions, and I don't have the inside piece glued on that, which I probably should. So Jim, why don't we hit pause while I glue that in? Before we talked about how to put the firewall in the back of the car here, you know, how to get the roll hoop to go together. There's one more thing, and I kind of mocked this up a little bit with an old part I had over there. And of course, I'm missing a pin down here, which is going to make it a little harder. But the key is you need to mock the car up before you glue on these fins. And the reason is there's a little lock, as you can see right here, that the bottom of that goes in. So depending on how much paint you got on or whatever you're doing, you know, you're going to need to adjust this to whatever you got going on. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about the other side, but I'm going to lift this up and kind of show you. See how that pins there's a little up, but it actually fits pretty good. But I'm going to pull it off just to show you one thing for adjustment. If you're see, this thing isn't staying in place because it's missing this pin here, but we're going to use it anyways for the sake of this video. We might have to hold it in place as we go. But so if your pins, let me get it in the camera. Sorry, guys. If your pins along here are up in the air away from there, what you do is you grab the piece right here and you bend up. And what that's doing is driving these pins down. So remember, it's high impact styrene, as I told you, before. So there's no reason for heat or any of that crap. Just bend it. This one really didn't need bend, but I was doing it anyways, just to kind of show you where to hold and where to bend on the side pod. Okay. So anyways, let's try and get this thing to stay in place and not be falling without the pin in it. And then we're going to glue on the, that's going to be a challenge. But anyways, we'll get it. And then this goes in that little hole there. And they all go in their little dills. And as you can see, we got a great, now when you do see a little bit of white right here, that's actually supposed to be there, because what it is to get it out of the mold, Jim had to put whatever they call that angle stuff in. So that's why your bottom of your pins, you always got to paint them black, because they are going to show in the under tray. And when I pull it apart, I'll show you that. So now the key is when you're putting this on, you want to have it mocked up like this to where everything's lined up. So all this will come right apart. So you can glue it on in an earlier stage. Then I always say do it at the end, but you can actually do it once you do that. So because you want that piece there to go into that hole while your pins are all level. So we'll set it on there, and it's in that hole and it's all level. And then we'll just throw some glue in there. Let me throw a little bit of glue. We'll just kind of half-heartedly tack it right now. And then you can come in with more glue later, and I'll show you another thing too. We'll just throw a little bit of tube glue right there, right up around there. Just kind of half-heartedly do it. Okay, and then we're just going to put it in place. I always like to use tube glue to hold stuff in place before I finish it, So everything's lined up along the side. That's all the way down. And now, as you can see, got a tiny little gap here just based on, let me see, make it up. So there's a tiny little gap here. So what you do when you're done, let's say it's set up, let's pretend it's all done, right? And we'll just pull it off and then get some, sandpaper, whatever you got, And I like, on mine, I leveled it all out, and then I grabbed a little bit of the white putty, which is softer, And I went ahead and put in it and cleaned it all up, even though there is a line there on the real car. But I cleaned mine up on my Joseph car. And this is my second Joseph car I'll be working on. I will get a new piece here. But yeah, so now that's all level. Just, quick little sand. And then if you're not painting, then let me find those sanding, those sanding sticks that have all the different, grits on them where you just turn it over. It's 1, 2, 3. You could actually buff that all out with that. But there you can get any little flash off. That's all flush now. But I would put a little bit of the white putty. Just it needs a little bit right through there. And a little bit maybe back there too. So yeah, I put some white putty in there and then come back and sand it before I paint it. But then it goes right in the side, no problem. We don't need that front thing. And it really clicks on the way Jim did it. I mean, this thing just absolutely, let me get a good angle for you guys. I mean, that thing just sits perfectly in there. But the key is gluing this on after you have everything kind of built up. Now, it's not built, we're going to paint. But so now that's set, ready to go. That's ready to be painted. This one already was painted. That was the extra one I did. This part is ready to be painted. It's fitted. And this comes off. This is where we left off, was here. Whoops, I'm sorry. I keep going the wrong way in this thing. But yeah, we addressed putting that on in the roll hoop in the last video if you want to go backwards. And then this is ready to be sanded and painted. If you don't paint, polish it a little bit. And we just had to mock up the motor, because you have to mock up the motor to be able to get the fit, So what we did last time, we left off here. We glued the side panels on. We glued the monocoque together. We put it on, fitted it on. We put a bit of the motor together so that we could go into these holes. And I can't see from this distance, guys. Sorry about that. Go try and work 2 feet from your face and see how you do. And then, so what we're worried about now is how do we get this flush? And that's what we just went over. You fit it on, you make sure you got everything all on there in the holes, clamp down, then you glue this part on the deflector, and you get a perfect fit every time. And so many people have made that mistake where they, I missed the hole there on the front there, so you can't see there. So many people have made that mistake where they take these 2 parts and they glue them just, right out here. You know what I mean? Before they even get to that part, and they go paint it. Then when they go to put it on, they got this thing all wonky in the air. I'm overdoing it here, but all wonky in the air. That way, every time you get a perfect fit. Now, in the first instructions in the first 4 cars, we didn't put that in the instructions. Clay has since, from the Paddle Award forward, added that to the instructions. So it tells you in there, but it's always good to see it, But yeah, what a great fit, Whoops. I always go backwards in this camera. I apologize, guys. But yeah, get just a phenomenal fit. And you really don't need the front one in there, to do it. But I just like to, because it kind of, makes sure that everything's going together good. But technically, you really don't need it, because this line's going to tell you anyways. But remember, if it's up in the air, you bend here, right there. Let me get clear. So you're grabbing right here with your fingers, you're bending up. It's high impact styrene, it has no memory. So when you bend it, it'll move. And that drives the rear pegs right here down into the under tray. All right. Well, thank you. Remember, we did the exhaust last time too. There they are. And so I'm going to actually build this car and make it Joseph's 2024 Indianapolis 500 winner. And so as I go along the car, there's not really a lot more that you can screw up. You know, it's those are kind of the 2 points: the firewall and roll hoop, and really the side pods. I mean, other than that, if you're messing it up, I don't know what you're doing, but just follow the instructions. But those are the only 2 points, the big points. And I think it was also, we had some questions on the, the exhaust. And we remember, if you refer back to the video, use the wastegate as the lineup for the exhaust. And then you can sand all this up really good, is what I do. You can put a little putty in. Now, these are technically wrapped in a, when I paint these up, I'll show you. There's a company that makes actual foil that looks like the heat wrap. And you can wrap these things. They'll look really cool. We'll do that one down the road. All right. See you guys next time.
And we're back.
We are. That was a good one.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you screw enough stuff up, you learn how to do it.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, even Clay, Clay's one of the masters. He had one of his tail sections or deflectors up in the air on one of his early ones. And that's when we go, holy crap. So what's the order? And that's when Clay came up with it. Hey, you fit it on, and then he put it in the instructions, hey, pre-fit this and glue these on here. And it was great to have him go through that. Mine fit, so I didn't have the problem.
Okay, so I need to answer something that's being said. No, Rick isn't getting better at his videos. I'm getting better at my editing. No, Rick is getting better. It is a little bit. Those of you who don't have a camera set up at your desk to try to do stuff like Matt does and I do, sometimes it has a tendency of being backwards with the way the camera is and on the computer. So it takes a little getting used to.
Yeah,
it's not like looking in a mirror, Rick. You are actually watching what your hand's doing. You're used to maybe looking in a mirror and seeing what you're doing. So it is a little bit different. It takes a little getting used to. So
I was complaining to Jim, it's backwards. It's backwards, Jim. He goes, no, it's not. So if like you're off center here right now, I'm looking at myself, I would think I need to go this way, right? Well, if I go this way, I am going the right way. I don't know. But somehow whenever you're building the model, it's opposite.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like when I'm out of the screen, I'm going farther this way, and I'm going, wait, you got to go this way.
Yeah, you got to pull back. It's like you're right there right now. On
and then
screen,
also I have a terrible tripod. Yeah, I have a tripod that goes right in front of me here. So I'm clear back here trying to work out here, and I can't see the damn holes. So anyways, we'll get there. I mean, guys like Matt and guys like Clay and all the other great guys that do videos. What's his name? Really great, has great videos. The M's, I don't know what his name is. He does those ones where he paints and he does everything. They're about 30 minutes or something.
There's quite a few guys.
I forgot who he is. But them are great. And those guys are good at it. You appreciate the ability to make a video.
Yeah.
And one day I'll be that. I think Jim spends more time taking the swear words out, Matt.
Can't do it on the live shows though.
Yeah. So anyways, every week I'll try it. I think I did a one, we taped another one for next week.
Polishing.
For polishing, which is a big, I started my polishing journey. I think, Matt, we talked about this with Mike. Give me Mike's last name from Pegasus.
Mike Flynn.
Mike Flynn. Yeah. I started my journey with the micro mesh with Mike Flynn. That's when I finally got lacquer on the car. And boy, I polished with that polish rag for hours, right? And then it was only a few years ago that Dremel came out with that basically that same cloth on a Dremel tool. And Jay goes, "You do it by hand?" He goes, "I do it like this." And he showed me, and I go, "Oh my God." It's like a 4-hour job is now like 30 minutes. You know?
Yep. Now you got that little tack light.
Thank you, Jay. Jay's a hell of a builder. Those guys, that whole crew down there, Joe, Jay, Clay, and I know there's others. I'm sorry, I'm leaving your names out, but them guys they really. It's great how you like before. Mike was the only real person I could get information from, Mike Flynn, and where now with the internet we can share so many ideas and different things.
Making more better modelers.
Oh, there's Kyle. That's that one there. Those are the ones are going to be. That's going to be a complete sellout, guys. If you want to pre-order it, because the problem is the car crosses over. Not only do you have IndyCar people buying it, you got NASCAR people buying it. So if you do want the Kyle Larson, I suggest purchase it. And there is a few Travelers Whiskey cars, and it's only because Marco had to buy 2-3 more bricks, I forget, the decals, because that's a cool car, Tony the Tiger.
That's coming up.
He had to buy a couple of bricks because we couldn't fulfill JR Motorsports orders. They're all sold out. We have a few. I think Marco kept 3 or 4 or 5 cases for us. And so they are on the website. So anyone that says they're in the aftermarket, they're full of BS. You can buy that. You can buy that kit for $54.99 shipped to your house, total price, right now on our website. So
such a deal.
Yeah, we're not big on this aftermarket stuff. You know what I mean? I hate it. I hate when I see one of our kits on eBay and some guys, charging. I see that on the Indy cars all the time. $200 for I have never seen a Larson on eBay, but I've seen some of the early Indy cars, McLaughlin and that, and they're expensive.
Yeah,
I love that. That's one of my favorite, Matt.
I never got mine.
Oh, you know what? That's my fault. I said last week on this show, I said I would send it out, and I lied.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you're not getting it until Luca C ships off those samples for the Lotus to Rick.
Oh, there you go.
And then he'll send
holding that on me. Thanks for blaming Luca on that.
Blame it on Luca.
Yeah, your favorite car. They didn't send it to you. Sorry about that, man.
No problem. That's the one I wanted to build.
Yeah, I haven't built mine yet either, but I've looked at it. I have the decals on my desk, actually. I love that decal set. Yeah, and it's got the checkered flag. They call it something else, something hide.
Houndstooth.
Is that what it's called? I always thought it was checkered flag when I was around the car.
It looks like it.
I thought Richard used checkered flags on his car.
Thank you, Richie's Model Car Garage. Rick, he just stepped away from following this for a minute and went to the website and bought a couple cars.
Okay.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And I also want to give a shout out to guys on the buffing thing. Bob from Model Car Garage. If you can't find those, the buffing rags we use, and they're really great. I don't even know what the material is, but it's kind of like them yellow rags you used to buy to wax your car,
Microfiber
his
stuff.
are much nicer. Yeah, no. the old school stuff, that microfiber scratches. But Bob still sells those little rags in a pack, and you unfold them. And go, if you ever go check his stuff out, man. Bob, a Model Car Garage, sell great stuff. Got to support him. MCW, another big supporter of ours. Lucas C.
Even Lucas C.
No, I mean, even Lucas C. It's got front ends. I know that Colonel Lamont's into something. And
into the Grand Am. Mm-hmm.
Grand Am, okay.
Yep.
But anyways,
I can't believe those things still sell.
Really?
Oh yeah. I didn't know you made that many kits.
Marco. Well, what happened was we didn't know what we were. I mean, it was me and Jim. We were alone, at the beginning of this, and we had no bearing on what sells, what doesn't sell. What kind of numbers to do, and we ended up making a lot of Le Mans on those first 3 Le Mans in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And so Marco walked in and goes, "Hey, these things got to go. They've been sitting." So they're on sale. They're cheap. I mean, they're super cheap on our website right now. I mean, it's got free shipping too. So if you want a Le Mans and put a Lucas C, what was it? Grand Am, you say?
Yep.
Grand Am front end on it. You can get a hold of Matt. How do you get your front ends there, Matt?
You go to andyshhq.com, and in the search bar, just put Luca, and bam, I'll take it all of my product.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So, if you want to make that, or you want to make any of the Le Mans, but they are on sale. There's quite a few things on sale. Marco walked in and said, "Warehouse space is money," and he comes from the Pepsi corporate world, and it's like, you guys are idiots. His father.
Well,
anyways. That space is worth money. This goes,
Yeah,
because we got new stuff coming. Floor space is worth money. So,
which Le Mans? Which Le Mans do you have? You have all?
I think all 3 of them. I know. I don't know the quantities on them, but the bottom line, he wants to sell them till they're gone. So if there's 1 case left, or 4 or 5 cases, till they're gone, they're going to be out of the market.
So that's Tim Richmond, the
Tim
Richmond, Bobby Ellison, Grey Ghost colored.
We got the Rainier Racing 83. The Tim Richmond.
Yeah. Those are all white cars.
And the Hardys.
The 81 silver. The Hardys and the old Milwaukee are white. The Teflon is silver, as I recall.
It is.
Okay. The other 2, if you want white ones, get those 2. If you want a silver one, that Teflon has a great decal sheet, man.
Oh, that decal sheet is beautiful. I want to build that.
Knock that one out of the park.
I've seen some builds of it. It comes out gorgeous too.
Yeah, that's a good looking car.
But our mistake ordering is your game, and it'll always be that way. If something doesn't move, it's out. It's out the door. We're getting rid of it, and
fun possible fact. I think I'm correct. I think I'm correct when I say this. Out of all those kits, 3 of them, the Grey Ghost colored one, the Cale Yarborough one, Hardee's, and the Rainier Racing, or the JD Stacy one. That's all the same car, just with different paint. 81, 82, 83, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, the
and that guys is
I think the Richmond is different. Yeah,
Richmond is it was a different team, but those 3 Rainier cars are probably the real car.
And that's why, guys, we have brought our production number on kits down so far, is so that you guys have every month you've got new stuff, new choices that
better. It's better to do it that way.
Exactly, because hey, you know what? Isn't it better that we actually make the kit that you have been contemplating? Oh, I'm going to get that one, and then I'm going to get the aftermarket decals that are going to be. They're not going to be good as the cartographs. They're going to be something, but they're not going to be as good as the cartographs. So I'll make them myself. You get them all in the kit, and you get awesome, outstanding box art.
Yes.
So, yep. Speaking of that, I'm gonna pop this up. Let's see, how can I get this thing up here? Anyway, I want to show, that one. I love the box art on this, but this is a placeholder. I'm going to have to figure out how I can use that black background on something else. I love that box, but that is not what the kit's going to come in. But it's just a placeholder holder for now. But that's we'll have a hope. Wouldn't it be nice if that was a winning box art for that one? So let's see if Kyle can go out there and
that's not.
That's what
you're gonna have to save that, Jim, because we're gonna use. You're gonna have to save that idea because we're gonna use actual track box art on that.
Exactly. I know. I know. So I'll use that for something else.
First time I read a comment, Alvin Powell's called me a liar. Don't you guys tell lies? I didn't.
Well, it's Bart, so he knows you. He's listened to you so many times.
He's been there since the beginning, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we're losing him.
It looks like we're spinning.
Yep, that would be your fault. It's overtime anyway, Rick. So
that's the funny thing at the beginning. We're all anyways, at the beginning, everybody was, oh, these guys are a bunch of liars. No, we're trying to find our way in this business.
Trying to
figure out how to make it work. What we said one day wasn't reality the next day, and everybody took it as the holy gospel. We didn't write the Bible, guys.
It's with everybody. A company will
schmucks trying to make it through the world.
Yeah, a company will always they try to market something, and sometimes it doesn't work on the way. Every just in the model world, Revell would announce something, all of a sudden it didn't happen. Mobius just recently did that a couple years ago. With the C10, they said they were coming out with in 24. Never happened. Things you never know what's behind the curtain of what's happens. Everything is all done with good intentions. There's no lying. It just things happen in business, and people just like to hate sometimes, and you just got to go.
I had a high school senior teacher that would rant, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions."
That is so true.
All right, boys, it's time to get out of here, and let me.
Why don't we leave it at that?
Yep, I need to.
All right, thank you.
I need to show the me again. So
for cut on again.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Don't forget, like our videos so more people see them. Like. Good.
Yep. All right, kids. Have a good rest of the weekend, and talk to you guys next week, and some of you guys on Tuesday night. Bye.
Have a great week.